Hey guys, it's Chuck Grove with Foraging Truth, and today we are hunting one of my favorite mushrooms, the Parasol Mushroom. So, where do we find this mushroom? We find it on field edges, sometimes out in the field, in the grass, and on the edges of the wood line. All right guys, let's go in here and see if we can find one, and of course, I started the video where I found my first one. So let's go look at this guy. This is not a beginner's mushroom. This mushroom can be misidentified with other mushrooms, some of the more toxic mushrooms like in the Amanita family, but let's see how we can positively identify that we have a Parasol mushroom. So the very first place I'm going to start is this side. We're going to see that it has a bulb of mycelium that came out of the ground and started forming this stem. It does not have a sac over top the stem. It does not have a coating over top of this. It's just mycelium, and then it starts into the stem. Now, on the stem, you're going to have this rattlesnake looking skin that has almost like a neat snake-like pattern on it. That is the next thing you're looking for. If it does not have that, you might want to look closely and see if you can find it. The next feature I'm going to talk about of the stem is that it's very fibrous and it is hollow. So the stem is hollow. The next feature, the ring on the stem, you can see that ring, is not attached to the stem. I can roll it around with my fingers. It will tear if I do that enough, but if it does tear away, there will not be an area where it tore the stem material away as well, because it's not attached. It is actually part of the edge of this cap. That's where it comes from. The cap itself is fuzzy, very soft, and it has these tuft patterns on it. They feel like a soft wool blanket. The next feature is that the stem does not touch the gills. There's a little racetrack around where the stalk meets the cap, and the gills will not go onto the stem. So we're going to pop the stalk out of this one. And you're going to feel that the very top of this, where it's darker on the cap, is actually attached slightly to the stalk. And if you take that out, it's almost like a little button at the top of the stalk. So you have that rattlesnake appearance. It's hollow. There's a bulb at the end, but it does not have a sac. And you have that little button. Now we just have the cap. And this is the part you're going to eat. But this is pretty unique as well. If you cut the cap to the center, you're going to notice that the gills go from thin to wider towards the end, where they taper into the cap. So if you look at it from this angle, that is the shape of the cap. Thinner to thicker, and then it comes up to the edge. It's a unique kind of look to it. This is a choice edible mushroom. There is another feature. If you smell this mushroom, you're going to smell like a fresh cut hay smell, like when the farmers are out cutting their hay fields. And it actually smells pretty good. So, the Parasol mushroom. One of the, I'd say it was a medium level mushroom. It is not a beginner's mushroom. This is my favorite mushroom. This is the one I like to fry. You cannot soak this one too long. I recommend spraying salt water with a mist bottle into the gills, rinsing them out, and setting it on a cookie drying rack to dry it back out. These things will take on all the moisture if you soak them like a morel, and they'll turn to mush. So that's something you just can't do with these. So let's see if we can go find some more. And what you're looking for when you're in here looking for these mushrooms is basically a parasol shape, like the old parasol umbrellas that the ladies used to carry around in the 1900s. So if you're looking for that shape with this color, it kind of stands out. So there should be, where I usually find one, or I usually find 2 or 3. They might not all be good, but this is not the biggest these things get. They get way bigger than it. And here's another one. There we go. That's the kind I like. Hopefully it's not bug infested like it is. Well guys, still looks good, but the bugs were really just starting to get to this guy. You can always shake them out, those little hitchhikers. We'll check it out further. If not, I'll use it for the spores in my yard right on the edge of the wood line to replenish what I have. Now, quickly, let's go back over the steps. I already know I have one because I can see the features. I can slide this. The ring slides from the stem. It has that same rattlesnake appearance to the stalk. It's got the little bulb at the bottom, but it's not a separate casing over top of it. And the stem is basically free of the gills, so there's a little racetrack around where the stem meets the cap. It has that real soft velvety feel to it, real dry. Smells like hay. Another parasol, guys. Let's just take it with us and keep going. Oh, we got 2 more up here. Those are pretty fresh. The one's still kind of opening up. Look at that. They're one of the prettier mushrooms I find. So let's get these guys here. This one is pretty darn fresh. And it has a real good rattlesnake appearance on the stalk. The ring has just separated from the edge of this cap, the margin of the cap. So again, I can move that stem or that ring up and down on the stem. See how it's not attached? I can tip it around and move it. That's a feature. Nice, firm, white on the underside. If it's real dark brown, then it is a little past. This one just came up. Same with this one. I always check the features, guys. Every time I find another one, I check the features. I know it's hollow. This one's been eaten on a little bit, but it left a lot of good material behind. All right, guys. So when you think you find a shaggy parasol mushroom, you're going to want to make sure that it has these dark brownish scales on the top. They get closer together and make this dark brown tip on the very center of the cap. It's going to be fluffy feeling and soft, and it's going to extend down to the margin of the cap, and then it seems to hang off the edge of the margin right before the gills start. The gills do not touch the stem. There's a ring around where the stem meets the cap. On the stem, it is going to have a rattlesnake appearance of almost like a darker material that was stretched over top of the outside of the stem, where it tears apart and makes this nice little darker, lighter pattern going down the stem. The stem is also hollow when cut, and there'll be a ball of mycelium at the bottom, but it will not have a sac and is not separate of the stem. That would be in the Amanita family, which has toxic, very toxic members to that family. So, if you want to make sure you do not have the green spored parasol mushroom, then you set these down on a piece of paper and cover them with a cup or a bowl, and then see what color their spores are. The spore print for the parasol mushroom will be white, not green. If you get green, then you have a distant relative of this mushroom that will make your stomach upset. Do not eat that mushroom. You want a white spore print, rattlesnake appearance on the stem, hollow stem, gills not touching the stem, scale appearance on the top, soft tufts, darker center, and fat gills. They fatten as they go out from the center. So, the parasol mushroom, guys. Alright guys, if you enjoyed our video today about the parasol mushroom, Macrolepiota Procera, then make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure we take this information that we're passing out and give it to everybody so that they can positively identify mushrooms, so that they have another source of food and knowledge of what God has given us in His creation. So like always, keep foraging.